So he slapped me at the back of the head. And then he said, "You keep your head down, you're a piece of shit." And I kept my head down. At that moment, I felt like a piece of shit. Then I asked my dad to go to the gym. And then my dad said, "Nah, gym, you have a brain. Gym is for the people who don't have a brain." Right? So you're never going to go there. I know exactly the plan, and I can tell you exactly what to do. And all I need is your action and your commitment over the couple of next months. And maybe in 6 months to 1 year, you can get Wolverine's body or Jennifer Love's body. Who is excited for that?
He's created some of the most incredible programs I have participated in. He's the creator of the Holo Body program, which certifies coaches, health professionals around the world, into guiding people how to take charge of their not just physical health, but mental and spiritual health as well. He's created multiple programs with Mindvalley, with NPS of 70 and plus, which is world class. It's really, really insane. He has a heart and soul of a teacher. And so super, super, super talented guy, spoken in, 25 plus countries, spoken at conferences with thousands of people. And he's a big celebrity in Estonia. He just, like at Life Plugin Summit, people would stop him and say, "Hey, hi, Ronan, how are you?" That's what happens in Estonia to him. That's what I heard. And he's one of the most humble guys. But what I'm really proud of is he's one of my closest friends. And he's been my brother in this journey. He's one of the few people I can count on one hand with whom we've walked together to hell and back and been grateful for it. Way too many times. He was my first roommate in 2014 in Mindvalley. That's where we met 8 years ago. And our journeys have been explosive, and I could not be more grateful. Every single transformational moment I've had, the biggest ones in my life, he was present. Right? So I want you to put your hands together, give your loudest round of applause, and welcome to my brother, Ronan Oliveira. Louder, louder.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for receiving me. Welcome to this session, day 2 of Life Plugin Summit. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge. Can you guys feel the energy? It's like it's thick. Like, it feels expanding. So, oh my goodness, I just want to stay 2 hours here. I am incredibly grateful to be here and to spend this time with all of you guys because of many things. One, because I have the opportunity to share things that are precious to me. And it's, to me, I was spending the previous week thinking, how can I find the most precious diamond of things that I have learned and offer this? And this is a big privilege that I have. Say, hey, here is something that is really dear for me that I want to offer to you. And I'm also very grateful to be here and look back to the journey of Life Plugin and this tribe growing and getting more engaged and more solid, and I'm part of it. So I really want to thank you guys all for being here, for coming here, and for holding strong this still good? Thank you. Bottom line of these 2 hours. If I told you, here, this is my life's work, right? I've been doing this, and my goal here is, can I get what is the most precious of everything that I learned and offer this to you? That's my honor and my privilege. And so, a lot of people ask me when they start working, how do I do this? Right? How do I get Wolverine's body, or how do I get Jennifer Lopez's body? If I told you that we have this figured out, that I know exactly the plan, and I can tell you exactly what to do, and all I need is your action and your commitment over the couple of next months, And maybe in 6 months to 1 year, you can get Wolverine's body or Jennifer Love's body. Who is excited for that? My goal by the end of the session is that you realize that this is a big mistake. Here's what I want to talk to us about. I know I can understand that all of us have feelings about our bodies at the moment. And there are things that we want to change. There are things that we would like to see different. When we talk about body transformation, there is always a little light bulb that goes, oh, sounds like something I want to do. And so my first question to you is, how happy are you with your health and your body at the moment? And just think of you, from a scale from 0 to 10, where do you stand right now? And just for a show of hands, if you are on a 10, meaning you are super happy with your health and your body, do we have anyone at 10? Anyone between 9 and 7? Anyone between 7 and 5? Anyone below 5? All right, so you get that there are opportunities for things to change. And when I ask you, so what are some of the things? If you say, I am on a 7 or I am on an 8, there are things that I would love to see different in my body and in my health. What do I need to do? If you didn't ask someone else, but you were to consult your own wisdom on that, what are some of the things that you can change in your lifestyle right now that you know it's very likely to make you live longer and better? Can someone just shout some ideas? Fasting. Sleeping on time. Exercise regularly. Enough sleep. Happiness. Mental health, less sugar. Conference, yeah. I think that could work. Maybe have 20 conferences in the body group. So you get the point, right? It's not a secret. It's not a mystery. Love. Yeah, so hey, I am on a 7. I want to go from a 7 to an 8. It's not a secret how to do that. Sleep, yeah. Fasting, yeah. Less sugar, yeah. Conference, perhaps, right? But then the real question is, if you're ready to, who feels now, hey, life plugin is happening, I'm taking the moment to reflect upon how I show up in the world, I'm ready to change a few habits going home. Now I'm ready to maybe start fasting, I'm ready to maybe decrease the sugar, I'm ready to sleep on time or sleep a little bit more, I'm ready to exercise regularly. The main question is, why haven't you yet? That's the main question. It's not a confrontational question. It's not for you to feel bad about yourself. Oh yeah, here I am messing up again. It's more an investigative question. If this is not new, right? Sleep, exercise regularly, less sugar, these kind of things. If I knew this already, what are the reasons that made it so this hasn't happened yet, although I knew this already? This is what I want to unbox a little bit today, hopefully. And the main idea here is that what we are trying to transform is not the body. Because when you try to transform the body, what do? You cut carbs, right? You start exercising. You come up with a morning routine and evening routine. These things are part of the process. But when you realize that you know this, but this hasn't happened yet, maybe the answer is not there. Maybe the answer is looking at, or my invitation to you is to look at the relationship that you have with your body. And maybe transforming the body is transforming the relationship that you have with your body first. And that transformation manifests into a different body. It's just like if you're not happy with your marriage, you know that if you expect your spouse to change, or you put the blame or say, I wish you were different, it's not the answer. You need to change the relationship, how you show up for that relationship, who you become. And then the spouse at some point becomes the best thing in your life. Because you're transforming what is behind, what connects. And you and your body also have a relationship. This is something that we don't often think about. And my own story also didn't let me to... Where do I point with the clicker, by the way? Here or there? Thank you. And my own story also didn't lead me to understand the relationship with my body. This is me. And this is the body I was born with. This is me as a kid. And this is what I wanted to become. Here's the background story that made that a strong motivation. I come from Brazil. And in Brazil, you have two types of kids. You have kids that are good in football and kids that are horrible. And I was part of the horrible group. And that is not a very flattering experience, let's put it that way. Every physical education classes at school, the teacher brings you to play football. And that's what, your relationship with the body is it good for football or is it not? And so, all the time that I would go play, I felt less of a human being. Right? If you start to hide already because you knew you suck at that thing. And that was this one guy called Jeff. Jeff was the cool guy at school because he was really good at football. He was like built with a strong body, fast body, a lot of skills and whatnot. And every time that I would go and play, Jeff would be one of the captains. And then they put the kids against the wall. It's a very, very terrifying experience. Put the two best players in the middle of the court, and they point out what are the kids that they pick to their team first. So you go, I go. You go, and I go. And I was always the last one. And Jeff was always picking me. And Jeff was always verbalizing how disappointed he was. He said, man, we got Ronan in our team again. What are we going to do? And then you look at this is, you feel bad about being born in that body. There was one thing that I had, though, one advantage that I had in my body. I was very flexible. And so there was one day that we were in a physical education class that was not football. It was a flexibility assessment. And the main test was that you sit with your legs straight and try to reach your toes. For me, that was very easy. But for Jeff, that was super hard because he was sprinting all the time. So his hamstrings are tight. And then when he went, he could only reach like his knees or something like this. And he's the cool guy. He just brushed it off and he went away. And then it was my turn. And I went like, touched my toes. It was easy. And then Jeff didn't take that well. He was pissed. So he come to the side. I was there. And the teacher was here. And Jeff came and said, teacher, he can do this because he's short, so his legs are short. It was another joke that I always got, as the shortest and the weakest kid at school. And then I look at Jeff and I replied just logically. I said, hey, but my arms are also short. All right, they are proportional. All right, 1 + 1. And then Jeff didn't accept that. Very strong guy. So he slapped me at the back of the head. And then he said, you keep your head down, you're a piece of shit. And I kept my head down. And the teacher didn't do anything. And I just stayed there silent, like waiting to see his kind of shadow walking away. At that moment, I felt like a piece of shit. And I look at my body, the body that I was born with, and I felt anger. I felt it was unfair. How come I get shit because of you? From that day, I wanted to show the world that I was strong. I had one idea on how to do that. It was to become Conan the Barbarian. Because, when I was a kid, my mom, I don't know if your moms also did that, but for my mom and my dad, when you're a baby, and they say, show us how strong you are. And then what does the baby do? Huh? Right? It's a show of muscle size. It's not a display of strength. The baby doesn't go and deadlift a barbell. That would be more logical. Show how strong you are, and the baby goes and fuck. No, the baby does this. He's taught to do, hey, look at the size of my arm. This shows how strong I am. So for me to become a strong man, I needed to grow big muscles. And there was a gym close to my house. And I would always walk away and see a lot of buff guys. And then I asked my dad to go to the gym. And then my dad said, nah, gym? You have a brain. Gym is for the people who don't have a brain. Right? So you're never going to go there. Not now, not a few years from now. It's never. You have a brain, you use your brain. And you can only do that the day that you can make your own decisions, when you turn 18. I was counting the freaking days. From the time I was 9 to the time I was 18, so I could go to the gym and become Conan the Barbarian. When the day that I turned 18, two things happened. First thing, I went to the gym and I made my subscription there. And the second thing, I joined mechanical engineering. That was my dad's dream for me to use my brain. He wanted me to become an engineer, and this is how you display brain usage for that idea. And those two things were very hard to keep up with. But university was very demanding, but I finally was in the gym, and I finally could become Conan the Barbarian. And now you can know how this story will go, right? So I went, and I became strong, and I went to Jeff, and I showed my biceps, and Jeff said, I'm sorry, right? But it was not how it happened. I started training in the gym, and we had a bunch of friends doing this together, and we were just following what the buff guys were doing. And we're eating the chicken and sweet potatoes and doing the same training and drinking the protein shake and whatnot. And even the guy told me that if you want to be very big, you need to buy the protein shake, but there is one brand that comes with a large t-shirt, so that you can drink the protein shake after training, wear a very large t-shirt, and feel bad about your body, so you can train harder to fill that t-shirt up over the years. That was the mindset. I said, yeah, that's amazing. But it didn't work. All friends of mine, they were getting results. Normal results that a beginner does. But I wasn't. And I was doing the same things that they were doing. And at some point, all these friends, 6 months later, I saw changes in their body. They were getting stronger. I think I even have a picture here somewhere. And to me, nothing happened. What my main thought was, the whole t-shirt thing, I'm not training strong enough. I'm not training hard enough. Let's double the amount of effort, right? So let's maybe beat a little bit more, and maybe the strong man will come out of that. So I started training twice a day. It was 6 days in a week. I would go before university in the morning, and then I'll go in the evening as well. While friends were just training once every four times in a week, I would put my meals in Tupperware from home, and I'll cook them in advance and then take them to university and eat all the designed meals. And my friends would go and have a beer, and I would just not do any of those things. And on top of that, I had a lot of different health issues. So I had chronic constipation since I was a little kid. And chronic constipation to an extreme degree, to the point that from up until I was, as far as I can remember, to up until I was 20-something, I would go to the bathroom once every 5 to 7 days. It's not so nice. And so it becomes that thing that you mark on your calendar. The day that you go to the bathroom, yeah, that something nice happened this week. So I needed to deal with that, right? My friends could go and eat like a Subway bread after training. I had a lot of digestive issues, so my body would bloat a lot, so I need to be very meticulous with my food. If I had, my friends would go like pizza and ice cream and whatnot, and bodies would be fine. I had one sweet potato. My belly, boof, like that. So at some point, I thought I was what we call in scientific research, a non-responder. Non-responder is a term for anyone who goes into an intervention and nothing happens. So you get a group of people and you give them training, or you give them a medication, or there's one group of people that will have results out of that. There will be a small group of people that nothing happens. It doesn't matter how much medication, how much training, how much nutrition, their bodies don't respond. So I thought, maybe I was born with a body that is a non-responder. Maybe Jeff was right. Maybe I'm really a piece of shit. After all these years of trying that, I was going, darker and darker spots in the relationship I have with my own body. And that reflects in every other area of life. One day, though, things changed. I had a car accident and lost memory in a car accident. I was in a car, there was another car that hit on the side while I was sitting. I hit my head against the window, affected the prefrontal cortex that stores your short-term memory and sends it to the long-term memory space of the brain. So I forgot everything that had happened in the past 5 years, more or less. I was blank. If you try to remember day one of Life Plugin, it's not there. You try to remember where you came from 2 days ago, it's not there. What you did with your life, your work, it's blank. That was more or less how it was. So the time that I was recovering, I had people telling me what I was doing with my life. One of my friends said, man, you lift weights and you go to the gym. And I didn't see that it was true, right? But I like that idea, because that whole idea of becoming a strong man came from much less than 5 years ago. So you go to the gym twice and you pack your meals in Tupperwares and all these kind of things. And for some reason that excited me. My dad comes into the hospital room at some point and he says, Ronan, I just hope that you recover fast because you are an excellent student. You are using your brain, right? You're doing mechanical engineering and you have classes in the morning, classes in the afternoon, classes in the evening. You study in your weekends, and when it's vacations, you are there with your books. And when my dad described that, I felt nothing. It was empty. So, I felt pity at some point. Is this guy spending all this time, all this effort in something that he doesn't care about, while there's something else that he really loves, but he's getting no results at all? So what a poor guy. And then I decided this is the time for me to change that story. In one way, I have something that makes me feel alive, the thing of exercising, lifting weights. And on the other hand, I'm a very good student. What if I use the brain in the gym, right? Finally, things coming full circle. And so that's what I did. I started studying a lot the science of health and fitness, what the body is made of, how the body changes. And I started reading by popular books, and then I went to textbooks. That's what you read when you go for different areas in university, medicine or physical education or nutrition and whatnot. And from there, I went straight to scientific studies. And I started, seeing what are the experiments that they do to prove a theory on how to build muscle mass. And I started replicating these experiments with me. And then finally, things started to change. So after all these years, what I needed is to get really in detail. It was not that my body doesn't respond. I just need to find the way that the body then responds. And then the whole story changed. The body started to develop and get stronger and more athletic, and then it started competing in some athletic competitions. One of them is called the obstacle circuit race. I don't know if you've heard about the Spartan race and stuff like that. Yeah, I was competing on those things. I won one of them. And as these things started to happen, I said, now I have this whole bloating situation. I know how, I can study, I can read a book about that, and I can solve that. The whole chronic constipation, I can go to the bathroom once a day. I can figure out how to do this. And I studied, there's actually scientific studies that show the experiments, right? And I did that, and it started working. And so as I started getting results for myself, there were friends that were coming, saying, man, you won a competition. How can I do that? You're building muscle mass, or you're going to the bathroom every day. How can I do that? And at some point, I was helping friends do all these things. And I knew how to design a nutrition plan, a training plan. I knew how to address all these different issues. And then I said, if I gained mastery, now I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to become Conan the Barbarian right now. Watch me, hold my protein shake. Huh? And then that's what my plan. If I can figure out all these things, I can figure out how to become Conan the Barbarian. My next 2.5 to 3 years, this is more or less 2015, this is what I am going to do. And so back to training twice in a day, back to packing my meals, back to first overfeeding. You need to first overfeed your body to the point that the hardest thing becomes not your training, not your sleep, it becomes how much you need to eat. So man, I need to have 2 more meals yet. It's like that's the hardest thing of your day. And then at some point after going for that phase for 8 months, you need to cut that down. And then you need to underfeed the body and overtrain. And at some point you are dreaming about food because your body is in such a state of low energy availability that it makes you go crazy. So it hopefully convinces you to get food. And you go through and soldier through this whole thing. And the journey never got realized. The Conan the Barbarian thing did never happen. One day I got close to it. And this was 2019 at Life Plugin Goa. That state, when I did the whole thing, the day of the photo shoot is Abhi here. Abhi Verma, he took that picture. When I did that, there was a sense of accomplishment on how tough this journey was. Outside of the day of the photo shoot and the lifestyle that was before that and the lifestyle that went after this, there was a feeling of empty. There was not like, finally, Conan is here, Wolverine or Jennifer Lopez, now my life is happy, like I'm fulfilled and whatnot. No, I was feeling very miserable to get there. I said, I'm going to go there, I'm going to push as hard as I can, and your body starts to scream. For 6 months, at some point, the intensity of the journey gets so high because you're forcing your body to be something that it's not, that it drives you crazy. You think of food on non-stop. You wake up and you are really tired. And then your main goal is to keep up with that day. You live day after day. A few weeks before, I would pray in the morning to be able to keep up with the next day and not to open the fridge and go crazy with the food that was there, because this is what my body was asking all the time. Sex drive is negative at this point, because your body is in such a state of low energy availability when you go extreme, my body at least, when it goes extreme like that testosterone dips to a point that is almost a castrate level. This is what happens to Navy SEALs in their training. Now, after the Navy SEALs training, if you test their testosterone, it's as if they were castrated. As if they had no testosterone at all. So testosterone gives you drive, it gives you motivation, it gives you strength, it gives also sexual desire. So this is not there. But there you go, you have the freaking veins running in your arms. Like, is that what happened? Is that what you're looking for? And after I was realizing, okay, this was a momentary state, I need to find a sustainable place. After that, I cannot keep up with this. My body was not designed to be that. The body started to compensate of these 6 months, especially the last 2.5 months of really intense kind of abuse in a way. And there was a week that I was trying to keep up with my sanity and having meals, not to go crazy in every single meal and not to lose my control, and the body was just retaining water and inflammation. In 1 week, I gained 7 kilos. From Monday to the next Sunday, I was 7 kilos heavier. The body was all bloated and my head was big. It was all holding a lot of water, holding a lot of inflammation. And you can imagine how disastrous it feels. If you spend years, maybe 2.5 to 3 years, putting your sense of self-worth in a look of a body, and then it goes away like that to worse than what it was in the beginning. At that time, I looked at my body and I said, why do you do this to me? This is not fair. It's just like Jeff hitting me in the head, and this is being unfair since the time I was born. I am the guy who makes the most effort of everyone that I know. I'm the one who really shows up for us to get there. Why do you not help me in this? And this is the time that, I looked, I was in a very low state, and I realized the body started speaking, I asked the question, the body kind of gave me an answer and say, hey, let's look back to how many people we helped. How many people we helped with their nutrition, with their training, with increasing their pulmonary strength, increase their immunity, to go to the bathroom every day. How many challenges we have faced and how rich the experience was. And when I put these things into perspective, this is when I realized that maybe I was not born with the body of Conan the Barbarian. Maybe I was not born with the body of a bodybuilder, of an athlete. Maybe I was born with the body of a teacher that has so many challenges that you need to figure out more than anyone else, that after that you can help everyone. You can offer things that you have learned to so many people as it had happened already. And this is when I realized that, I was all this time trying to force my body to become something it was not. I was trying to make my body fulfill an unmet need that I had. It was like, I don't feel strong. For other people, it's, I don't feel confident, or I don't feel beautiful. Then you look at your body and say, now you give me that. And I'll beat you up on the way. Force you to become something I can be happy about. And after this, I realized that maybe the answer is not for us to try to get that Wolverine or Jennifer Lopez body, but to get the best version of our own. That may be very different, but it's probably what feels the best and is more nurturing. So one of the things on that way is to realize where we are at in our relationship with your body. So this is one of the exercises that we're going to do right now. Something that I want to invite you guys to do is, is based on these 3 lessons that this whole journey gave me. One of them is the non-identification. That is the exercise of disidentifying yourself with your body. Turns out you are not your body. But we don't really think about what is the situation here? Am I my body? Do I have a body? Do I own a body? Am I part of a body? What is the whole thing here? But the moment that you kind of step aside and you look at your body as an entity on its own, and you are aware that you are not that, in the same way that you are not your mind, in the same way that you are not your emotions, but you are aware of all these things, you can identify the relationship that you have with that body because it's not you. And by identifying that relationship, you can work on transforming that relationship instead of asking the body to transform itself so you can be happy about it. The second lesson was transforming that relationship is what manifests into a body being transformed. And how you do this is by identifying who you want to become. Not who the body who the body needs to become. Who you want to become towards your body. What do you need to let go of? And what do you need to learn? And then that relationship gets better, and then the body also transforms in its own most natural way. So the exercise that we're going to do this now, I call the body relationship journey. And it's a reflection about how the relationship with your body has been up until this moment. So if you have a pen and paper, have that in hands or something that you can take notes. If you need, please raise your hand. We have our team there with notebooks and pens. If you need a pen and paper, please raise your hand. All good? Everyone ready? So before we go pen and paper, I'll ask us to do a little reflection exercise. So if that's comfortable for you, I'll invite you to close your eyes. And, have a relaxed position. Take a deep breath to feel grounded. To feel your body against the chair. Bring your mind to right here, right now. And the couple of things that I want you to think about is one, think about what has, if you're not your body, but imagine that you're having a conversation with your body, and your body is sitting beside you as an entity on its own. And you guys are there, on the chair on the side, you're having that conversation, and you're asking the body or reflecting back to it, what is the journey that your body has been through? What type of stuff have your body gone through since the beginning of your story together? So maybe you can go back to childhood a bit. And what was the body going through like at that time? How was your relationship at that time when you were a kid in terms of how you engaged with your body, in terms of how active or not you were, in terms of food that you gave to the body, in terms of injuries or scratches and things like that. And as you went to school and got into puberty, how did that go? Not only the changes that the body went through, but your changes of the outlook towards your body. How did you feel about it? Was there moments of guilt, shame, judgment? Were there moments of pride? Were you very in touch and engaging with your body? Were you a bit more, no, that's not my thing, I'm more on other areas of life? And as this went through to your adult life, what else has your body gone through? Maybe it has gone through pregnancy. Maybe it has gone through an injury. Maybe it has gone through gaining weight, losing weight. Then think about moments of frustration and disappointment that you felt towards the body. Don't need to judge that, if that was right or not. Just remember moments, the recent moments, or perhaps the key moments that you felt, you look at your body and said, what did you do this to me? For whatever reason, that was shame or guilt, or you felt left behind, or the body didn't support you in what you wanted. See if you can go back to a few moments. And then think of, were there moments of happiness and pride between you and your body, moments of celebration? Maybe there was some activity, some athleticism. Maybe there was something around beauty. Maybe there was something around the body helping you recover from an illness, from an injury, or giving you a child. Or maybe you're just acknowledgement that your heart has been beating from the moment that you were born. And sometimes you acknowledge that and felt proud and happy about it. And then bring this awareness to this moment right here, right now. What is going on at the moment with this relationship between you and your body? What are the challenges that this relationship is facing now? And what are the needs that this relationship has at the moment? See if you can get an answer. And once you have that, you feel complete with this reflection, I invite you to open your eyes again. And on your pen and paper, I invite you to plot this exercise into the body relationship journey. So this is more or less how I do this. I trace a horizontal line, and I go in chronological order, and I plot the moments that my relationship with my body was positive or negative. The moments of pride and happiness and celebration, the moments of frustration and guilt and shame and damage. And the higher the moment was, the more positive, the higher it goes above the line. The lowest that moment was, the lower it goes below the horizontal line. So if you see here, this is more or less the story that I told you. You know, I was active as a kid, but then I had bullying. So very low moment for me, you know, the Jeff story over there. And there was low self-esteem, there was a lot of digestive issues, immunity issues, also something bad. I was reckless until the time I started training. When I became 18, I was very excited about my body because I joined the gym. So that was a huge high point for me to start training. But then I realized that my body didn't change. Another low moment over there. Then there was a car accident, and even though it was enlightening, it was a big, strong moment of truth. It was hard to go through. It's a moment of injury as well. So probably the lowest moment. That then led me to research and learn and to compete. And all. So that was very high. Me and my body were very connected, very beautiful. And then there was a whole 3 years of a lot of abuse in that relationship. Unconscious, but still. And the whole gaining 7 kilos in 1 week, that was the culprit of me looking at this relationship from a different way, and then a conscious relationship arising from that. So this is more or less, you don't need to plot all moments. Just put some of them so you can get a little bit aware of the relationship with your body. I'm going to give you 5 minutes, and I'll check with you how we are in this exercise. Can we do that? All right. Let's put some nice background music, and let's do this. All right. This is an exercise that helps us develop a little bit of awareness, that helps us identify with the body and say, hey, actually, I am not my body, but I have a relationship with it. And this is more or less how this relationship has been through the years. And if this relationship is positive or negative, you don't need to try to fix or solve this right now in this exercise. This is a process that we're going to unfold a little bit more going the next phase of this presentation. But it's more to become aware. So this is looking at this relationship. This is what I can see. Maybe I can draw some patterns there. Maybe I can see some beliefs or some behaviors that keep on showing up. And I would love to get one person to share. If there's anyone who wants to share what this exercise was like and share a bit of your body relationship journey with us. Over here, please. Can we have a mic? Yes. Coming. Hi. Hi, brother. There's a mic coming for you.
Hi, thank you.
What's your name?
I'm Ashwin. My name is Ashwin Gargav. I'm from Mumbai. I work with ZTV. And I really like the whole process that you've explained us. And I think my journey is a little bit similar to what yours has been. So I was born petite, one of the smallest guy in my class. Always used to stand in front because, once other guys are standing there, I could see the board. So always been the first bencher. Not with mine, but because of my physique. And then pale, pity, always been feeling low confidence. But yes, been always a smart guy. So used to read a lot and wanted to overcome that lacuna of my body with my mind. So with active body, but I was like always agile, run fast, faster, active in sports. And then, it was like I was 10 years or 8 years when I met with an accident. I started learning cycle. And I used to do that cross cycle because I couldn't put my leg up on the bar cycle. So I used to do the cross one. And then I fell and broke my hand. So it's still broken here, if you can see. And went to the doctor. He gave us some anesthetics to me and he put a plaster for 1.5 months. After that, he said you have to do exercise for almost with warm water and all the balms and all that they need to apply, that these things will be right, but it didn't. So then he said that while fixing, I did a mistake and we need to do it again. And then when again got admitted to the hospital, and they give, at the time now anesthetist has evolved, they give a lot of different injections, but at the time they used to give chloroform. And chloroform, before they give chloroform, they need to flush out your body. So that doesn't react with oxygen and become phosgene, which is a poison. So they gave me a chloroform and then my body reacted and it went completely blue. And the doctor said that this guy is there for another couple of hours and he won't survive. So it was tough time for my parents. I couldn't understand, but I can see when I went to the hospital, I was in the ICU. And he was telling me, and first time also it happened that he told me to count till 10, and he gave me injection, and when I woke up, I remember it was 8 hours later. But this time, I can see that there was panic around, doctors and nurses running, and I can see all of them in stress. I think something is wrong, but I couldn't figure out. So over the years, this was my point where I met with an accident, low esteem. I used to carry with broken hand, and I used to wear full T-shirts. But then I realized, but people used to say me that, no, this guy is good. So then I thought, why not to live with that? And then I don't used to wear short shirts, but then I started working out. I started with a bit of yoga, got my body in place, especially spine straight and all of that. And then a bit of cardio classes. And I do regular gymming now. And to me, I feel fit. I don't do others, but I feel much fit now, and I'm on an upward journey. If that was the time, now if I look at my chart, it is growing up and up. So I am feeling much more confident about myself. I am feeling much more active, and what I need to do from here is I have urge to eat more, which is what if I believe and I know that if I can control that, I would definitely have a body like you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is beautiful, Ashwin. Two things. I love your storytelling. I think very engaging. I love that you took the stage. Thank you for doing that. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is when we see that transforming the relationship with your body can take the body in a direction that maybe you had not seen from the beginning, but you feel much better about it later. And the reason why it happens is because we see this in other areas of life. You know, when you plot your relationship, a lot of us will see the relationship that we have with our bodies is very similar to the old school relationship that parents have with their kids, right? The kid is born and the parents say, you're going to become a doctor, an engineer, right? Or a lawyer. And then the parents pave the kid's way. And then the kid goes and becomes an engineer. At the end of that journey, none of them is happy. Parents are not happy. Kids are not happy because it's not fulfilled, and parents are not happy because they realize it was an empty journey. But we do this with our bodies a lot, right? Like, you are going to become Wolverine now. Conan the Barbarian. Cut the carbs, right? Or be up, or do whatever. And then you try to make the body, and the body sometimes can't get there. You know, if we work together, we can't get any of you to a kind of Jennifer Lopez or Wolverine body. But maybe if your body was not designed to become that, none of you will be happy. Neither you nor the body. So what this brought me was, what if we changed the relationship that we have into our bodies? Instead of forcing the body to be something so we can be happy about it, what if we could transform the body in what it wants to become? Like the parents, that instead of saying you're going to become an engineer or a doctor, they look at the kid and say, I'm going to give you what you need, I'm going to protect you from harm, and I'm going to nurture your innate gifts. And let's see what you become. And then the kid becomes an artist, very different from the doctor. But at the end, everyone is fulfilled. The kid is fulfilled, and the parents are fulfilled. Because the kid is expressing a full potential of what it wants, he or she wants to become. So what if your body could express the full potential of what it wants to become? Instead of you trying to manipulate the body, what if you could ask the body, what do you need and what do you want? Instead of telling the body, this is what I need, this is what I want, now give this to me, is can I serve the body? Can I get my attention into, this is what you need, I'm going to give you what you need, protect you from harm, and nurture your innate gifts, and let's see where you went. At the end of that journey, much more likely there will be fulfillment. You know, if you go to Instagram today, and you put hashtag fitness inspo, fitness inspiration, this is what you see. This is aesthetics, but aesthetics is not fitness. Our idea of fitness today is misguided. I don't say that this is a bad thing, but when I say I want to get fit, everyone's expectations go there. If I don't have big muscles and abs showing, or I am not fit. No, fitness is the capability of your body of addressing difficult challenges and recovering from it fast. Right? I can do something that is heavy and feel good for another one after that. I can take stress and feel good after that. I'm not broken after that. This is fitness. This is one way of displaying a subset of fitness that goes very well for people who are born with bodies that do well for this. That this is a full expression of what their body wants to become. But it's not what all of our bodies want to become. To me, this is a more real display. So this is a book called Athlete by Howard Schultz. What he did is that he took pictures of bodies of Olympic athletes around the world. Olympic athletes, the top level of what a human body can do in a specific sport. And this is what it looks like. And you see different shapes and forms. What these guys did here, they didn't were born and said, now you're going to become Wolverine or Conan the Barbarian. What they did is, what are you good for? I'm going to give you what you need. I'm going to protect you from harm. I'm going to nurture your innate gifts. And this is what the body becomes. And I can be pretty sure that they are all fulfilled about this. They are the top athletes in their sport around the world. And you see different shapes and forms there. You see here as well. All different forms of bodies that fully expressed what they wanted to become. For people in athleticism. And you have here other people who gave their bodies all they needed to fully express it. This is the child who became what the child wanted to be. The child and the parent are happy. This is a relationship that operates from that perspective. And this to me is what fitness could serve us for. Not for us to shape our bodies into what something we can be happy about, but as a vessel for spiritual growth, for what kind of person I want to become. Can I serve my body? Can I become a person who gives in the same way I want to give to my spouse, to the world, to my job? Can I do this to my body as well? Instead of manipulating it, can I pay attention? Can I fine-tune my awareness? And how do we do this? It turns out that there's a nice model that explains, or that help us explain what is happening as we evolve in our consciousness levels with our relationship with our bodies. And it starts from this is the picture of the Barrett's consciousness levels. Is anyone familiar, have seen this before? So this is by Richard Barrett. This is a guy who worked in the World Bank before. He's also a philosopher, very wise guy, that was given the task of refreshing the Maslow pyramids of needs. Are you familiar with the Maslow pyramid of needs? Yeah, so someone came to Richard Barrett and say, hey, we think, the World Bank, we think that there is a little bit more to it. And what we want is you to go there and see if you can expand on that pyramid of needs. And what Richard Barrett did is that instead of coming up with his own ideas, he started drawing wisdom from Western and Eastern philosophies. So he went and studied the Tao and studied the Dharma and studied Western philosophy and Romans and Greeks. And he realized there were some common denominators around how we see our consciousness evolving. And he came up with this model here. And what I'm going to do now is that we're going to go over the 7 steps to see what it looks like. So this is a levels of consciousness that apply to any type of relationship that we have, including the relationship that we have with our bodies. Usually, we start this journey from one of the first 3 levels. And most of us spend a long amount of time in our lives predominantly in one of these. The first 3 levels are very similar to Maslow's pyramid of needs, and you see that. The first level is called survival. Survival is a level when our consciousness is focused on physical, mental, and financial health needs. It's making sure that the foundation is there. And that is really good for us to be worried with that so we can have safety. But there's something that can happen there. That is the fear that you may have a fear-based belief that keeps you stuck there. And that fear-based belief says, I don't have enough. Either I don't have enough health, or I don't have enough money, or I don't have enough physical capabilities. And if that belief, that fear-based belief is there, it doesn't matter how healthy, how physically capable you are, you're always looking there and say it's not enough. And so the expression of that is a lot of control, right? A lot of, it's an over-obsession about health. It's over-obsession about your physical capabilities. A lot of vigilance, a lot of that meticulous restriction and manipulation. Because you feel that it doesn't matter how far you go with your health, it's not enough. Other expression of that is completely avoidance. If you see this is a game I can never win, I might as well not pay attention to my body and go look at my profession, go look at my family, or, and the body becomes that taboo thing that I don't really, is not where I go, because I know that I will never be good enough in that sense. Then here you have a couple of archetypes. One of the type of person that is usually stuck at this level somehow, I call this, my body is not my business. This is the type of person. Have you seen somebody that their health is breaking down? They are coughing all the time, and they limp, and they cannot stay, they cannot go upstairs, and they have pain here and pain there, and if you ask them how they're doing, say, everything is fine. I'm all good, right? No problems whatsoever. And you can see that is not true. But there's a belief there from that my body is not my business, that there's a belief that after 30s, your body is supposed to decay. And so if you are coughing and you cannot go upstairs in your 40s or 50s, if you gained a lot of weight and you're limping your way through life, you said that's how body after 30 starts to fall apart, and that's normal. So everything is okay. It's such a distance from the body that I don't even engage with that, and there are problems that I don't even recognize that there are problems, so I can't even take action. I don't even try to change my habits or show up for my body, because I think that this is how it's supposed to be. So these are people who usually outsource health, right? They go to the doctor and say, what should I do? And the doctor says, do A, B, and C, and then they go to another doctor, and the other doctor says, do D, E, and F, and at some point they're confused, because they're never trying to relate or engage with the body, and they're getting information, and they're just confused, and they don't take action. The opposite is the controller, is the person who is obsessed, right? They say, my great-grandmother died of a heart attack. Right? Have you seen that? My goodness, if I eat one piece of chapati, dead, drop dead straight away. And then there is that belief that the body is fragile. If I do this one little thing outside of the plan, poof, that's what my great-grandmother did. And so you become very obsessed with those things. And then no matter how robust your health or your body is, you're stuck there. Eventually, you manage to ascend to level 2. Level 2 is focused on relationships. Now you have the foundation. Now your consciousness is connecting to a tribe, to people. And so here the most important thing is sensing of belonging. So relationships, family, friends, and all these kind of things. But the fear-based belief that can exist there, is that I am not loved enough. And then you ask, how can this be related to health and body? Because the overexpression there is that unconsciously, I'll either be jealous or I'll manipulate people so I can get love from them. And I can really use my body and my health for that. You want some example? One of them is what I call the I struggle. I struggle is that person that cannot see themselves without suffering. That you always know somebody that is always complaining, and it looks like that their life is hardest because they're always in dip shit, right? And when you think that they have everything that they need to kind of step up, they go back down again. And this is a serious thing. It is not their fault either. I worked with a woman, for example, that Maya. Maya had this behavior pattern that she only take action to change their health in cases of desperation. Right? So one case of desperation, she went on a holiday, and then she gained 5 kilos or 6 kilos over the holiday, and then she's like break down. So, oh my God, I did something really bad. I should, start exercising, pay attention to nutrition. And then she does that, and the first week that she loses 1 or 2, that she feels, things are going nice again, poof, she goes back to the same behavior of overeating and uncontrollable thing. Or if she, at some point, she was sensitive towards dairy, and then at some point that she went for ice cream and pizza and stuff, and there was a strong diarrhea that she stayed in hospital for 3 days. It was like they needed to kind of replenish her gut bacteria, and the doctor said, hey, if you keep this up, you're not going to go far. And then she broke down. Oh my God, I'm killing myself, la la. Now I'm going to get better and not have dairy. And then for 2 weeks she was there, and then when she started feeling better, poof, back there again. And when we are talking about and trying to unfold her relationship with her body, we realize that this goes much way back. So Maya was abused when she was a kid, and sexually. And fortunately for her, when that happened, she had a lot of friends and family who came to support her. And so she overcame the whole big trauma. But there was an unconscious belief that was born there that she never realized. That is, I had a huge crisis and people came and offered me love. What if I don't have crisis anymore? Will I still get love from people? Right? What if I have no problems? Will people come and give me love? Maybe I need problems, so people always come and support me. And so unconsciously, this is what was happening. When she was going to a place that I'm not struggling anymore, her actions will immediately take to a place of darkness, so people can come and support and she receives love. So this is one of the ways of bringing relationships close with our bodies. Another one is the selfless caregiver. Anyone relates to that name? It's like the person who everyone else is first. And then you at some point you decide, this year I'm going to change my habits, start exercising. And you do that up until your spouse has a problem or a friend has a problem. And so, now I don't have time for that because I need to go help the friend, and then I need to go help the neighbor of the friend, and then I need to help the acquaintance of the neighbor of the friend, right? Don't have time to go there. I'm too busy with those things. And this is another way that we get more relationship and the body shows up in that level of consciousness. If you ascend that, you go to level 3, that is focused on self-esteem. Here, the main focus of consciousness is achievement. Great thing for us as human beings, right? You're thinking of self-image, about being the best, about productivity. There can be something very healthy there. But as you can all see already, there can be a fear-based belief that says, I'm not enough. It doesn't matter how good I am, I'll never feel I'm good enough. And so the overexpression there is that need to show I am strong. Look at this, right? And even if that, I get there, now look at the vein inside of this, right? Look at this twice as big. So it never gets there. And then there are different archetypes that show up there. One of them is what I call the unchosen one. The unchosen one is that person who says, yeah, fasting, very cool, right? Eating whole foods, exercise, not going to work for me. My body is different. Now, those scientists who wrote that, they didn't know of that I have this aorta thing here in my heart. I have this thing on my feet. The people in this study, they didn't have those things, so it was not going to work for me, right? And so they are stuck in that self-esteem that my body is broken. Works for everybody else. To me, it is never going to be there. There's another one that is the punisher. The punisher is that person that says, I talked to somebody once during the Whole Body course. We have a Whole Body coach here. And someone in the Whole Body course told me, hey, I already cut from my diet everything that I like, but I'm not seeing results. What's wrong? Maybe that's what's wrong, right? But the punisher has that idea that if it doesn't suck, it's not effective. It needs to hurt. Right? If it feels nice, if it feels easy, probably not good. So the punisher will do things that it will find ways to make it hard. So if I am not dead after my workout, that means I still have half an hour to go. Huh? But you can't punish your way to happiness. At some point, the body breaks down. You can't keep that as a lifestyle. The punishment in its own twisted ways give you some short-term results, but you can't become, so there's a yo-yo pattern there, and the self-esteem is still stuck. And the other one is the survivor. The survivor damages on purpose. I have someone in my family who is like that. You have seen someone, a lot of back pain because of many years sitting, and you say, hey, it would be nice to go for a walk, do some yoga, some exercise. And say, nah, the pain is not strong enough. I can take more. So they do the non-productive thing on purpose because there is a pride on how much I can endure. I'm going to eat all the ice cream and all the pizza, and tomorrow I'll be like, because I can do this, I can take it, right? And so they never take the action of improving the relationship with their body because they can tolerate a lot of pain. So the relationship is bad, but it's not bad enough. I can still keep going, and this is how strong I am. You show these scars as a medal. Say, hey, here's me coming back from the war. Eventually, you get to ascend to level 4, and this is when things get a little different than the Maslow pyramids of needs. This is a level of transformation. So when you get over with all those fear-based beliefs, at some point you say, hey, all that self-esteem or these relationships or all the survival, I have enough of those things already. I don't need to place my happiness outside of me, on my relationships, on my health, on my money, or whatnot. I can be who I am and individuate my expression of my body. Maybe my body is not supposed to be Conan the Barbarian. Maybe it's supposed to be a little smaller, but maybe a little faster. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to celebrate that. Here is when we start consciously evolving, and you get unattached from external expectations. Here is usually when you make some unpopular decisions. So all the society and everyone in my family is asking me to get, the six-pack and whatever. It's not what I decided to do. I actually decided to do something different. I'm going to do that, and that's kind of a little bit unpopular decision. But now you're authentically expressing something that feels it's your identity. If Carl Jung was here today, he would call this the individuation phase that brings us from the fear-based beliefs to a point that we are expressing who we are. When we talk about be who you are, be authentic, this is what they usually mean. So this level is focused on letting go of the fears. Can I be happy and satisfied with myself even if I am not in peak shape? Or even if my health is not good? I know that there's something to be addressed. Or maybe there's insulin resistance here. And I know that would be good to change that. But can I be fulfilled right now with my body the way it is, and then work towards it instead of placing my satisfaction after the problem is solved? And so it's a moment of awakening usually, and it is when people start asking, who am I, and acknowledging, trying to make this decision reflect that. And once you go through this phase of that main awakening point of these consciousness levels, there's usually things that die for other things to be born. This is usually when your friends don't recognize you anymore, or people at home don't recognize you anymore, and they are now afraid, right? You're playing our game all this time, and now you're kind of becoming this individual, independent on your own. You have your own self-esteem. You don't depend on, and something is, you feel a little bit misplaced. Maybe it has happened in other areas of life. Maybe in your job is something that usually happens. People going to personal development usually see that. Or maybe the places that you go, or the work that you have, or the routines that you have that are not very cognizant with your relationship with your body because they are unhealthy. Now you feel that you don't belong anymore. something needs to be let go, so that something else can be born, something else can be learned. This is the hardest part of going from the level 3 to level 4, because you need to be able to let a part of you die, so that other can be born, and that's very scary. And after you do this, then you unlock other 5, 6, and 7 levels. On level 5, you have meaning and purpose. So this is when you are expressing these things that, this is what me and my body wants to be and wants to become. Maybe I was not born to be a weightlifter. Maybe I can be I like to dance and I like to express myself that way, and that's what I'm going to do, right? Or maybe I have a body that supports me for me to have focus and use my mind in my intellectual ventures, and maybe that's how I'm going to use my body for. That's what my body is meant to be. So you're expressing those things with authenticity. You're focused your actions in terms of values. Your workout and your food is not based on what is most effective, but what reflects your own values. Then, level 6 is about community involvement. Making a difference, collaborating with the environment is about the collective well-being. Then we realize, hey, me improving my health can give back to my own family, can give back to my friends. Me learning those things, I can serve others as well. I can engage with others. Not only teach what I know, but I can be present for my grandchildren. If I have a body that can squat when I'm 70, I can play with the baby, right? If the baby becomes big, I can hold them and can take them to the beach and surf together, because I have a body that allows for that community engagement. And then level 7 is a level of transcendence. It's when everything that you care about is giving and service. And all your health and your body is supporting that standpoint of giving back to the world. Very few people get there. We call them gurus usually. Of course, that's exactly the point. And then you think, how can I do this in alignment, not despite of my body? Because you can also, I've been, for example, volunteering for a few years. You are there giving, you're there in service, but at the expense of your body, right? Because you're not sleeping and you don't have money to give the nutrients that your body needs. So you're there in a place of service, and who is paying the bill is your body. So now, I'm going to be the savior. You're going to give me that. So this is one conversation. The other one is, can I support and nurture my body so we can both together manifest into service? That's a beautiful conversation to have. Then, now we're going to do, one thing that happens, beautiful thing that happens when you go to levels 4 and above, is what we call the Wu-Wei paradox. Wu-Wei is the Tao idea of the path of least resistance. It's that thing that you achieve your goals when you don't want them anymore. That the idea, you try to make money, and then you go for years. At some point you say, you know what? Not for me anymore. And then money comes. Right? For health and fitness is exactly the same thing. Because you're not doing this because you need survival, or because you need love, or because you need self-esteem. Your body is not responsible to give that to you anymore. Now I say, let go. I'm just going to nurture my body. And then, 6 packs come. All these things that you thought that you were fighting for come as a reflection of you nurturing your body. So here, for example, when I said, I'm not going to be Conan the Barbarian anymore, there was a lot of fear. So is my body designed to be something that I don't want? How am I going to face that? I needed to accept that, so I'm going to celebrate whatever comes. I was very happy and feeling grateful for my body, that it turns out when the full expression of your body is something that you are very much going to enjoy. For me, this, for example, is a picture from a quarantine. That I was not trying to transform my body. I was not trying to manipulate. I was just trying to reflect every day, what do you need? How can I give what you need? How can I protect you from harm? How can I nurture your innate gifts? And it's still something that I looked today and said, it performs well, it looks good, but it's coming after I gave up on those goals. Then the focus here is not getting, it's more becoming, right? It's not how do I get that body, how do I achieve that, how do I become that strong. It's what are the person that I need to become for this relationship. This is the opposite side. This is looking this from a different, like flipping the whole game. The number 2 lesson of this is that the basics will always be the most important foundation. And the basics are not new to anybody. It's the things that we were speaking here in the beginning of the session. Frequent movement, your body has the need of moving throughout the day in different intensities, in low and high intensities. Nutrient richness, the food that you eat delivers nutrient to your body and doesn't steal much nutrients from your body. Sound sleep that is regular in the same schedule, preferably that has quantity and quality. Inner stillness, the feeling that you are unshakable, that stress doesn't hit you, that you are mindful, that you can de-identify yourself with your emotions and with your mind and be in a place that you are unshakable. Deep connection with other human beings. This is one of the things, if you have people who have deep connections with human beings and can say that, they can have at least 3 people that they can call anytime in their lives, in good or bad moments, and they actually answer. These people, they have twice the chance of recovering from an accident in the hospital. In comparison to anyone else that has all the nutrition, all the exercise, all the sleep, but they feel lonely. There is a very strong physiological response in human connections. Sync with nature. That we are not an isolated system. We are a part of an ecosystem. So the sun has a influence in how our body works, the air, the land, and also the seasons of the food that you eat. The sync with nature, with the rhythm of our environment is a fundamental need. And a sense of purpose. People who have a belief that they are here connected to something bigger than themselves have higher likelihood of nurturing their bodies, of not being destructive, of not giving up on life, because they know they are serving something bigger. And therefore, this translates into better and healthier habits. So here the habit is nothing new. But you won't really care much about cutting the carbohydrates to the 10 grams of protein or the biohacking, this and that, if these things are not covered. And then that is the deep work. What usually happens in practicality is that we are hovering around number 4, number 6, number 5, 6, and 7 levels of consciousness. But then sometimes you get hooked on you trip on number 1, number 2, and number 3. Right? I'm authentic with my body. But then I come to a conference here, people that I don't know, and then I start getting self-conscious of the way that I look, for example. Or I go to the dinner and everyone is looking at what I eat, and now I'm making different choices, right? So in most of the times you are in level 4, but in some circumstances you may have a hook on number, the fear is still there somehow. So this is deep work. This is assessing who we want to become, who do we want to let go. Is this the exercise that we're going to do now? So the exercise that we're going to do now is what I call the body talk. The body talk is this conversation with you and your body. If your body is sitting beside you and is a different entity and you're having a conversation with that. It's in the whole body program. It's something that we do every week. And it's when I asked all the Holo Body coaches, that we have more or less 1,000 of Holo Body coaches around the world now. And I had one-on-one calls with 30 of them to ask what was the most powerful thing that I got from this program. And there were massive singular response. So of all the very robust things that we learned, the most powerful thing that I do that changed the game for me is the body talk exercise. Very simple. It's the simplest exercise of the whole 6 months of program. But it's a very powerful one because it de-identifies you with your body and it gets a checkpoint. So you can reflect, can have that conversation, see you can listen back from the body. And in this exercise, there are different questions you can ask your body. Here, we're going to ask, what do I need to let go of and how do I need to grow? As if you're asking your body. So now I will invite you, again, to, if you feel comfortable to close your eyes. And imagine that you are sitting beside your body. That your body is an entity on its own and you guys are hanging out. You can acknowledge maybe the body feels as a he or feels as a she, regardless of what you identify with. And if you could ask, or if your body right now could ask you anything after you acknowledge your relationship, what would your body ask you right now? Say, hey body, I never gave you the chance of voicing something out. What do you have to tell me? Then think about how you've been showing up in this relationship lately. You can acknowledge how your body has been showing up to you lately. Since the moment you're born, your heart is beating. It didn't stop for a freaking second. When you eat any type of food, it does the best it can to digest and deliver you the nutrients and let go of the waste. When you got injured, it made all it could to heal. And it stood up for you, it showed up for you, is a very strong, perhaps your most loyal servant. But it's a relationship. How have you been showing up to your body lately? And maybe that is reasons to be proud of how you've been showing up. Maybe there are reasons, that a few things that you are feeling that you are missing out on, that you may be disappointed, and that's all fine. We've done our best up until this moment. Just acknowledge these things. Now think about the potential of this relationship, what this relationship can become. Think about the moment in the future that you wake up with the highest energy you have ever felt, that your body provides you focus for you to do the work that fulfills your soul. Your body helps you walk, helps you run, helps you express yourself, and you can play with your kids and with your grandkids up until an age that you don't even imagine that you can reach right now. Imagine that relationship that is active and engaged, that is only reasons to be happy and to celebrate, whatever form it takes. But when all this physical world that you can experience is full of bliss because your body provides you the possibilities of experiencing that, and it has all these senses and the sensor abilities to have you rejoice, to have you taste, to have you flavor your human experience. Think about when your relationship gets to that level. Who do you need to become for this relationship to be in that way? And when we talk about who do you need to become, think about what is something that you need to let go of now. Now, ascending to level 4, what is something that is about time to be let go, is about time to celebrate its passing, its death? And what does need to be born? What do you need to learn? How do you need to grow from this moment? And when you feel complete with that, I invite you to open your eyes. All right. I would like, if there is anyone who wants to share, one person, you over here. Yes. you. There's a mic coming for you. What's your name?
My name is Anushri,
Anushi.
and I've written a letter to my body thanking it. So I said, hey, buddy, my body, my loving body, all I can be or say is that I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful and express great, deep gratitude, love, and nurture for all that you provide me with. You helped me be a mother, carried my angel for 9 months, fed it, and breastfed it also. So you are so wonderful and magical. I'm sorry for the years of loathing, shame, unacceptance, anger, frustration, guilt I had for having you throughout, as a child, as an adolescent, when I hit puberty, I had acne, as a teenager, as a college going student, as a wife, until I became a mother. So all throughout the journey, I had this different negative emotions attached to you. But today I talk to you as me. You are the beautiful feminine vessel of life force, and it is a privilege to have you. It is a privilege to have a body, and thank you a million times. Only yours.
Can you guys feel it? I felt this is strong. Thank you so much. One lady at the back. Yes, please come.
Hi, this is Rohini from Nagpur. So today I have written a love letter to my body. So, hey buddy, first of all, I'm so sorry for all the hurt I gave you, for all the bad feelings, unhealthy food, mental stress, overthinking, fear of rejection, anger, anxiety, depression, unacceptance. Today, on 9th April, while attending the Life Flagging Summit in Shimla, I want to commit something. I commit to love you unconditionally. You have a beautiful soul. I'll do whatever it takes to feel you cared, loved, and healthy. I will maintain the consistency in workout and meditation, and I promise to give you my best. Thank you, and I'm so incredibly grateful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's have one more, one last person to come.
He's the person who changed my life, guys.
You are.
I'm just here.
I receive it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being. I'm Sonal from Pune. Actually, we've been doing this process, as Ronan said, in the whole Hollow Body course. But again today, when I did it, again I have felt a different connection with my body, my love, the most closest entity. How can I thank you enough for being so kind to me, for letting me enjoy the best moments of my life? How I wish I could have given more attention towards you. Without you, I could never get the essence of life. You have been my best friend, my partner in crime. You always tend to save me. Now, I decide to look after you as a priority, want to make up for all the neglect, all the abuse. I know you're waiting so impatiently for this moment. I never realized the importance, never thought of how I could take you to another level so that we both could have a beautiful relationship together till the end of my life. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You feel it, right? Me too. This is my dad. in 2019. He almost passed away. He, January, February of 2019, he was found unconscious while working. He's a car mechanic. That's why he wanted me to be a mechanical engineer. And for 3 months, he felt to us that he was a body without a soul. Like, he didn't have memories, he didn't remind his house, he saw my pictures on the wall, was not sure who that guy was. He didn't speak. My mom was in the house with him, and he would ask things. She would ask him things, and he just stared at the wall for more or less 3 months. And my sister, back in my hometown, was helping my mom. I was there in Malaysia, and I was with my mom and my sister on calls 3 hours a day for us to kind of become a supportive system. And in the meantime, we were trying to figure out what was happening. We thought it was Alzheimer because he thought he lost memory and he couldn't keep information. He forgot basic things on how to have shower, for example. And we took him to different neuroscientists who ran tests and found out that was not Alzheimer. And we thought it was any other kind of dementia, and it was not. And we're trying to figure out what it was until there was a doctor who diagnosed my dad with pseudodementia. Is when you have the symptoms of dementia, like Alzheimer, but you don't have the physiological reasons for that. Now, Alzheimer usually comes when, over the course of the years, your brain gets clogged with a few proteins over there, and then the blood circulation in some areas of the brain are not possible anymore, so the brain shrinks. And then you start losing function of the brain. And so that whole protein brain thing was not there. The physical brain was good, but the symptoms were there. So this is the pseudo-dementia. In my body, in my dad's case, it was caused by depression. And that depression was caused by years of cumulative inflammation. And when I was a kid, I remember my dad came back from the hospital one day feeling very sad that he was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, so wounds in your intestine. And this is a autoimmune disease. It can manifest into an autoimmune disease, and it can stay with you forever. And that means that you need to be very mindful of what you eat. You cannot eat any gluten, dairy, sugar, and things like that. And my dad was like, hey, never cared. A pizza, and beer, and cigarette, and whatnot, right? For many years. And I tell you what, guys, the body is force of nature. It can take a lot of hit. The body is not fragile. It's not going to break down the first time that you do it. It's not going to break down the 1,000th time that you do it. It takes years. Maybe 30 years later, my dad's body collapsed. It was holding on for all this time. And once my dad recovered from that, and now he's amazingly well, I went back home, and we knew exactly this is what happened, and this is why it happened. And then he looked back. For years, we always been trying to ask him to change what he eat, or to start moving his body, and he was never there. But then that moment, he felt the call to action. And he said, Ronan, I wanna change now. You know, I have a lot of gut sensitivity. I need to find out how to eat well. My body got weak. I need to find out how to exercise. I need to address my heart, cholesterol, my lungs, constipation runs in the family, and all this. it's the time that I want to change. And then I look at my dad and said, Dad, I know how to do these things. This is the gift that my body gave me. My body gave me all these challenges from the moment that I thought it was unfair. And we started with different plans and different routines. We were doing things together. We were revamping the cupboards, and he was like cooking food. And then we were doing some movement exercises and things like that. And in 3 months, my dad lost 14 kilos. 14 kilos. And more than what he lost, he gained a new outlook of life. Now, before that, it's true. Thank you. I would talk to my dad and invite him to come to Malaysia. I lived in Malaysia. His conversation was like, I'm not going to make it. I know I'm about to die already. That was, the end is coming. That's what he felt like. After this whole thing, he bought a bicycle. Let me show you this. And he started riding bicycles at home every day. And then this January, he came with my mom and visited me in Estonia. They spent a month there. And Estonia is freaking beautiful. They were taking 20,000 steps per day to get to know the city, because now he has the body that can provide him that. And he went back home, he got an Apple Watch, and every day, this picture is from yesterday. Every day he takes a picture of his walk and he puts in the WhatsApp family group. Say, guys, this is my walk. And now he is hiking hills with my mom. You can see how high this is. The city is there at the back. It's a very, very difficult hill to hike. He hikes this 3 times a week so he can go there and take a picture and see the city from above. So then I look at this guy. And I can see how strong he is. And I can see how blessed he was to get the body that he got. And how lucky he was to understand why. So I come back to this. And I respect these people immensely. And they are expressing their full potential of what their bodies are capable of. But it may be different than ours. So what I wish for you is that you don't get Hugh Jackman's body, that you don't get Jennifer Lopez's body. What I wish for you is that you get the best version of your own, and that one day you come to understand why. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.